Hey everyone, back for another movie review. This time we're going to another smaller budget movie, a medium-sized budget. I know a lot of people don't understand what that kind of means nowadays, especially in the days with these high-priced superhero movies. So, yeah, let's go to Robert Redford's final starring role in a movie, The Old Man and the Gun. The Old Man and the Gun is starring none other than, like I said, Robert Redford. It also stars Casey Affleck, Sissy Spacek, Donald Glover. In what it is Robert Redford plays a character by the name of Forrest Tucker, and he's obsessed with robbing banks in general. Specifically, I mean, what he does is he goes around robbing banks. And he does it in a very kindly manner. This movie takes place in 1981. And so what the police have to work with is less than it. And along the way, after escaping one robbery at the age of 74, I believe it was, he meets a girl who's stranded on the side of the road by the name of Jewel, played by Sissy Spacek. Decides to help her out. Kind of gets the hots for her, but then realize old habits die hard or don't die at all. Where Casey Affleck comes into the movie is he plays a cop who is losing his passion for his job. He just hit his 40th birthday, and he kind of doesn't have the instinct or the love for the job anymore. And these two characters intersect. This is a movie basically about obsession, passion, and addiction, all at the same time without having any drugs. The Forrest character is a character who's obsessed with robbing banks, committing crimes, just trying to get away with anything he can. Casey Affleck's character is doesn't have any passion anymore for what he does. He's a cop. He just hit his 40th birthday party. He's depressed, and when he sees the case of Forrest Tucker, he all of a sudden gets excited for his job again. He has a purpose. He has a meaning, and that's what a lot of characters have in this job, especially Robert Redford's character. Sissy Spacek as Jewel, she kind of plays like the thing that should be grounding you in most movies. And this is a really good movie. This is a very interesting movie. It's a very interesting dive on what makes people tick, what makes people do what they do. And I have to give a lot of credit for that. I actually had to think a lot. I actually thought about everyone's motivation during the movie. And it is pretty amazing. Especially when we're going back and forth between Casey Affleck's character as the cop and Robert Redford's character as the criminal. Because, you know, they're so on opposite ends. One, Affleck's character is a character who kind of is given up and needs a spark. Redford's character is a person who spark is done by doing something wrong, but he knows it. He knows he needs that. If I was to go into let's start with the bad first. I kind of wish they would have given Danny Glover and the other criminal, Walter, played by Tom Watson, I believe it is, more to do. Because what it is, it's not just Redford's character alone. They're called the retired robbers. But they're just kind of there during certain heists. And then Danny Glover's character gets a finale, the other one doesn't, which is kind of disappointing. I think they should have leaned a little bit more heavily on that. As for Casey Affleck's character, I kind of think they would have been better served if they would have took a little bit more out of his relationship out of the movie. Because it really didn't serve anything other than to have his wife come into the movie and say, oh, how do you feel now? More or less. I think we could have did that in a little bit more interesting way. This isn't a bad thing. This is just something to say. This is not a long movie. It's only an hour and 30 minutes. It's only an hour and 30 minutes. So you're not going to be in there long. The movie moves at a really brisk pace. As far as the good part, Sissy Spacek and Robert Redford have amazing chemistry together. They are an absolute joy to watch. And you really believe that Robert Redford's character is in love with Jewel. You know, Forrest Tucker, you really believe, is in love with Jewel. Every time they're on screen, you just like... it's kind of hard to explain since, Robert Tucker is supposed to be a 74-year-old guy. They never really say how old Jewel is, but it's like, I guess like two grandparents meeting, two people who are grandparents meeting and just enjoying the time together and enjoying living together. That makes it kind of all the more disappointing when we get to the end. Casey Affleck is really good, and you can really see the lights turn on him when he finds out about this robber and he's starting to investigate. He's starting to dig deeper into, Tucker's character, who has been robbing since he was 13, since 19, I believe he started in 1938 or 36, one of those 2 years. And he just starts researching this character, and he just like wants to get a deeper dive, and he just found something in him that turned on that says, I need to catch this guy. It's also pretty hilarious how every time they show him, Tucker's character robbing someplace, they always have the same thing. He's such a nice gentleman. We don't care that he robbed us for thousands of dollars. So that's really an interesting twist on this. He's not a mobster to be evil. Like, he just has this malfunction in him that says, I need to rob, because that's the only way I can get the serotonin in me. That's the only way I know how to live life. That's the only way I know I can enjoy life. While the movie doesn't go into the dark directions, if you show this probably to any psychiatrist, they'll probably go in a different direction and say, it's kind of a depressing story in a sense, because he's falling for this girl, but at the same time he lets old habits dictate how he lives, because that's the only way he knows how to be happy, and that's the only way he's ever been happy. There's a brief scene with Casey Affleck interviewing one of his daughters from his only marriage, and it's kind of heartbreaking when she's describing the father, because her mom tried to lie to the daughter for a while, and then it was a pretty cool scene, just to show this character in Tucker, who was very lively. He wasn't withdrawn to everyone. Like I said, everyone that he robbed, even people, there was this one scene where he was robbing someone and he was saying, oh, don't cry. And the girl's like, oh my God, it's my first day on the job. And she's crying. He's like, no, you'll be fine. Don't worry. There's a first time for everything. And, he walks away, and that's the only thing she remembers, that, like, even though he was committing a heinous crime, he was also being very nice and even complimented her. You did excellent at your job. And then he walked out. And so it has that vibe. And I can see a psychologist watching this movie and goes, there's something wrong with him, but at the same time, he's doing what he likes. So yeah, I really like this movie. I dug it. It's really quick. It's brisk. Like I said, my issues with it is I would have liked to see the old crew robbery gang get a little bit more fleshed out. I kind of wish we would have saw Robert Redford and Sissy Spacek be around each other more, but like, there's also something in me that said we had the right amount of time with them together. And they thoroughly steal the scenes that they're in. Yeah, I give this movie a 7. I recommend you go see it. It's not playing in many theaters, so try to go out of your way if you can. Yeah, that's all I kind of have to say for now. Thanks for watching. If you're going to see The Old Man and the Gun, let me know in the comments below if you've already seen it, because this is a movie that slowly rolled out over the last 3 weeks. Let me know your thoughts on the movie. Thanks for watching as always. Like, subscribe, and talk to you later. Bye.